Namaste students, welcome back to the class. In the last class we discussed about the Mendelian inheritance or Mendelian genetics, right? Those were the experiments or genetic crosses done by the Mendel. He is referred to as father of genetics, right? But when the same experiments, Mendel did the experiments on pea plant, when same experiments was repeated or experiments were repeated on some other plants, okay, the result they got was different, okay. So those we will study in today's class, that is non-Mendelian genetics, okay. Other than the Mendel, some other geneticists studied different patterns of inheritance, okay, other than the Mendelian inheritance or Mendelian genetics. Those comes under this non-Mendelian genetics or non-Mendelian inheritance. Mendel pea plant alli pea plant annu use ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು experiments ಮಾಡಿ inheritance patterns ಅನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ದಿ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಸ್ಲೈಟ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ದಿ ಮೆಂಡಲ್ ಗಾಟ್, ಓಕೆ. ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂಥದ್ದು non-Mendelian ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ non-Mendelian ಇನ್ಹೆರಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ there are 5 different types of inheritance patterns, okay, other than the Mendelian inheritance. They are incomplete dominance, codominance, multiple allelism, polygenic inheritance and pleiotropy. So let us discuss one by one. The first one we are going to discuss is incomplete dominance. Okay, incomplete dominance. You know what is mean by dominance, right? So if you consider the monohybrid cross done by the Mendel using the height of the pea plant as character, okay, height of the pea plant was the character when the Mendel did the monohybrid cross, right? So that time this was the parents, right? One is homozygous dominant and homozygous recessive. As a result, the F1 generation, all F1 generation were the heterozygous or they were tall hybrids, correct? That means here the capital T was completely dominant over the small t, right? Capital T is completely dominant over the small t, but here it's incomplete dominance. That means when, if you consider the capital A as a dominant gene and small a as recessive gene, now it's a heterozygous condition or F1 generation, then this dominant gene is not completely dominant over this small a, okay. Capital A is not completely dominant over small a. Let us take an example of a plant called Antirrhinum, or it is also called as dog flower, okay, dog flower or snapdragon, okay, snapdragon. So in this plant, if you consider the flower color as a character, then that gene is not completely dominant. So what happens, let us discuss. So when if you consider the Antirrhinum plant and capital R for the red flower, capital R for that controls the red flower in Antirrhinum, and small r for white flowers, okay, white flowers. These are the genes capital R and small r. Like we have written it's as capital R, that means it's dominant, and small r it's recessive. Till now we have discussed like this, right? But in case of snapdragon or one more plant that is common plant, you might know this plant, that is called as 4 o'clock plant or Mirabilis jalapa or 4 o'clock plant. ಸಂಜೆ ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವಲ್ವ, ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ವಿ ಗ್ರೋ ದೀಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಗಾರ್ಡನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ 4 o'clock plant and same in snapdragon. Okay, this is another plant. If you consider the inheritance of flower color, then it shows incomplete dominance. That means complete dominance is not seen. So here we are going to consider the capital R for red flower and small r for the white flower. What happens if you consider the F1 generation? Let us discuss the schematic representation later. So if you consider the F1, then what happens? There will be heterozygous condition in the F1, right? They are the hybrids, and usually till now you know that this R will be completely dominant over small r and this flower will produce red flowers. Correct? ಇದುವರೆಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದು ಇದು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆರ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದರ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ರೆಡ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ in this snapdragon or the 4 o'clock plant case, the F1, all the F1 showed pink flowers. Okay, pink flowers. What is the meaning of this? This F1 do not resemble any one of the parent, right? Here the parents were red flower plant and white flower plant, but the F1 heterozygous F1 produced pink flowers. That means the F1 or heterozygous condition in F1 do not resemble any of the parent. Correct? ಈ ಎರಡು ಪೇರೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಪೇರೆಂಟನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಇದು ಏನು ಹೋಲಿಕೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. Do not resemble any of the parent. Instead of that, what happens? The pink is the intermediate color of red and white. Correct? So pink is the intermediate color of red and white. So the F1 generation was intermediate to the parents. ಈ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಎರಡು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸಿನ ಮಿಡಲಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇನ್ಹೆರಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಇನ್ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಡಾಮಿನೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಇನ್ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಡಾಮಿನೆನ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ condition in which the dominant gene is incompletely dominant. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವಲ್ವಾ, incompletely dominant over recessive gene. Okay, incompletely dominant over recessive gene, and in heterozygous condition produces a genotype intermediate to the parental type. Intermediate pink to the parental type. Okay, this is called as incomplete dominance. This also this can be asked in the exam. What is incomplete dominance? Explain, or with example you need to write. So snapdragon is the example, and one more example is the 4 o'clock plant or Mirabilis jalapa. So when you write the schematic representation, then the parents are red flowered and white flowered. Correct? Red flowered, homozygous. Then what will be the genotype? It's capital R crossed with white means recessive, homozygous, because parents always they are homozygous condition or pure lines, right? So genotype. Next you have to write the gametes. So only one type of gamete here. Here also only one type of gametes, right? Next F1 generation. That means capital R small r. What is this? Capital R small r. It's a hybrid or heterozygous, and it produces pink flowers. it produces, or these plants, F1 plants produces pink flowers instead of red or white, right? It's the intermediate color of both the parents, right? And next, when selfing was done, that means capital R, small r, capital R, small r, selfing of the F1, what happens? Next, what are the possible gametes here? Two types of gametes, capital R, small r. Here also two types of gametes, capital R, small r. Then what will be the F2 now? F2 generation hegirtade? See, draw the Punnett square. Here X and pollen, right? And then write capital R, small r. These are the possible gametes, and in the first column also you need to write the gametes. Then here capital R, capital R, capital R, small r, capital R, small r again, small r, small r. Now write the phenotypes below this. It's a red flowered plant. What about this? Capital R, small r. It's not red now, it's a pink, and here also it's pink, and here small r, white flowered. Correct? White flowered. So next you need to write the phenotypic ratio. Phenotypic ratio. Phenotypic ratio. So what are the possible phenotypes here? The red flowered is to pink flowered and white flowered. Correct? So how many red flowered plants here? 1. How many pink? 2. And how many white? 1. That means 1 red flower plant, 2 pink flowered and 1 white flowered. Now what was the monohybrid cross phenotypic ratio? Monohybrid cross in phenotypic ratio ಎಷ್ಟಾಗಿತ್ತು? 3:1 ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಹೌದಾ? Genotypic ratio 1:2:1 ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನು ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. But here the phenotypic ratio is 1:2:1. And again let us write the genotypic ratio now. Genotypic ratio. So how many types of genotypes? 3. One is capital R, capital R, small r, and small r, small r. So capital R is to capital R, small r, and is to small r, small r, right? So how many capital R? 1. How many capital R, small r heterozygous? 2. And small r, 1. So again 1:2:1. That means this was the genotypic ratio of monohybrid cross, phenotypic ratio of the monohybrid cross, right? So phenotypic ratio is not like the monohybrid, but the genotypic ratio is the same. So in case of incomplete dominance, the both genotypic and phenotypic ratio is 1:2:1. That means the heterozygous condition or F1 resembles, that means do not resemble any of the parent, that is intermediate to the parents. Intermediate to the parents, because here the dominant gene is not completely dominant over the recessive gene. So this is incomplete dominance. Next type of inheritance we are going to discuss is codominance. Okay, codominance, co together. Okay, let us discuss what it is. Codominance. Okay, codominance is a condition in which the F1 resembles both the parents. Okay, F1 resembles both the parents. So F1 ಏನಿದೆ that resemble both the parents, ಎರಡು parents ತರ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು F1. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಹೆರಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಕೋಡಾಮಿನೆನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಕೋಡಾಮಿನೆನ್ಸ್. An example for this codominance is the ABO blood group, ABO blood group in human. Okay, ABO blood group in humans is an example for codominance. So, what is codominance? See, if you consider a RBC, okay, red blood cells or RBC cell, okay, when you consider a RBC or red blood cell, then on the plasma membrane, this is the plasma membrane of the RBC, and on the plasma membrane you can find some sugar polymers. Okay, sugar polymers. These sugar polymers protrude out of this RBC. RBC cellina plasma membrane idu. Plasma membrane inda ಹೊರಗಡೆ protrude ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಯಾವುದು sugar polymers. And based on the type of sugar polymers present, the blood grouping is done. Okay, blood grouping is based on the type of sugar polymers which are present on the RBC. Okay, so if you consider the sugar polymer controlling genes, okay, sugar polymer controlling genes, that gene has 3 alleles. Okay, the gene which control the sugar on the RBC, that has 3 alternate forms. One is IA and IB and small I. Okay, these are the 3 allelic forms of a gene that controls the sugar polymer on the RBC. And IA produces A type of sugar, IB produces B type of sugar, and small I do not produce any sugar. Okay, no sugar polymers. Okay, small I, that is a gene that do not produce any sugar. So, based on this, which type of sugar is produced and present on the RBC, the blood grouping is done. So, ABO blood grouping or ABO blood group in human. See, as I told, there are 3 genes controlling the blood group, that is IA, IB and small I. Okay, IA, IB and small I. When the IA, both the similar genes are present, then the blood group is A blood group. Okay, A blood group. And when the gene IA and small I is present, then what will be the blood group of that individual? Small I is recessive and that do not produce any sugar, right? That means here also A blood group, right? Next comes IB gene, and IB homozygous, then it produces B blood group. And IB and small I, which blood group? It results in B blood group. And if you consider small I and small I, homozygous recessive, here no sugar polymers, so this blood group is called as O. Okay, O blood group alli small I is the genotype of the individual where no sugars are produced, so blood group is referred as O blood group. And there is one more condition where both IA and IB both are dominant. Okay, both the genes are present, then what will be the blood group of an individual? ಈಗ ಒಬ್ಬರಲ್ಲಿ IA ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ, IB ಕೂಡ gene ಇದೆ, ಇದು genotype of that person. Then what is the blood group here? See, here the inheritance pattern comes, that is codominance. That means IA also express itself, IB also express itself. That means this in this case both the sugar, that means A type and B type, both the types of sugars are produced, right? And this type of blood group is now called as AB blood group. Okay, AB blood group anta helteve. That means here IA and IB both the genes express itself. okay, resulting in the production of both the type of sugars, sugar A type and B type. So, the blood group is called as AB, right. So, there are 3, 4, 5, 6 genotypes, right. There are 6 genotypes and how many blood groups? 1, 2, 3 and 4, right. 4 types of blood groups, that is nothing but the phenotype. Okay, phenotype. So, 6 genotypes results in 4 phenotypes. Okay, this is because of codominance where the F1 resemble. That means here, this is the heterozygous condition. F1 is always heterozygous, right? So, this F1 resembles, both the parents. Okay, F1 resembles both the parents. This is codominance. Okay, you can write the chart like this. It's not necessary, we discussed already. For blood grouping, you can write it as allele from parent A or parent 1. Next comes the alleles from parent 2, and next genotype of the offspring, right. Genotype of the offspring or F1 or offspring. Next comes the phenotype. Here the phenotype refers to blood group. You can write like this. Okay. So, parent 1 in the gene IA, suppose the parent 2 give the genotype allele IA, then the genotype will be IA and the blood group is A. Ide thara barita hogbodu. This I already discussed. When IA, another parent gives a small I, then the genotype is IA and small I, the blood group is again A, right. And there is a IB gene or allele from the parent 1 and again IB from the parent 1, then the genotype is IB and which blood group? B. And one parent gives IB and one parent gives a small I, then this case IB and small I, the blood group is again B. And when the parent gives the allele IA and another parent gives IB, then what is the genotype? IA, IB, and the blood group is here codominance, results in AB blood group. And next possibility is when parent 1 gives small I, from the parent 2 again the allele is small I, then the genotype is small I, the blood group is O. So, again 6 genotypes results in 4 phenotypes or blood groups. Okay, this is about codominance. And the next thing we are going to discuss is multiple allelism. Okay, multiple allelism. As the term indicates, it's multiple, many allelism, alleles. Okay, many alleles. That means when a gene has, if you consider the A as a gene, and when this gene has more than 2 allelic forms, okay, more than 2 allelic forms, then it's called as multiple alleles. Okay, multiple alleles. So, when a gene has more than 3 or 2 allelic forms, then it is called as multiple alleles, and the phenomenon is called as multiple allelism. Okay, the very good example, that example we already discussed, that is the gene I controlling the human blood group. Okay, the gene that controls the human blood group is I. Okay, and this I gene has 3 allelic forms, right? What are those? IA, IB and small I. So, these are the allelic forms of a gene capital I that determine or control the human blood group. So, now this phenomenon where a gene shows more than 2 allelic forms, then it is called as multiple alleles, okay, and the phenomenon is called as multiple allelism, okay. ABO blood group in human is example for both codominance and multiple allelism, okay. And next you are going to discuss is the starch synthesis in pea plant, okay, starch synthesis in pea plants, starch synthesis in pea plants. See, the gene that controls the starch synthesis in pea plants has 2 alternate forms, that is capital B and small b. Okay, these are the 2 alleles or genes that controlling the starch synthesis in pea plant. And in homozygous condition, that means when both the genes are capital B and capital B, the starch grains will be large or big starch grains are produced. Big or larger starch grains are produced, and in this condition when homozygous small b, then smaller or small starch grains are produced. And if you consider the heterozygous condition, one capital B and one small b, and then the starch grains produced will be of intermediate size. Okay, starch grains produced are intermediate sized in this heterozygous condition. Okay, this is about the size of the starch grain. Okay, now this is the size of starch grains, okay, as a phenotype, okay. And if you consider the shape of the pea seed, okay, shape of the pea seed and the size of the starch grains, it's related. See, if you consider the seed shape, then in this capital B condition, the seed will be round, and in this small b condition, the seed will be wrinkled. We discussed these characters, right, under the Mendelian genetics. And in this intermediate size also, the seed will be round only. Now kaltideve, round only, correct. So now this is another phenotype. Here the seed shape is considered. Seed shape is considered. So here we are going to consider 2 phenotypes. One is the size of the starch grain and one is the seed shape. So when seed shape is considered, then this B is completely dominant over small b, correct. When the seed size is considered, then this capital B is completely dominant over small b. But if you consider the phenotype size of the starch grain, okay, size of the starch grain, then here the heterozygous shows intermediate starch grain size, right. The starch grain size is intermediate, that means it shows incomplete dominance. But when the character seed shape is considered, then the inheritance shows complete dominance or dominance, right. That indicates the dominant or dominance. Okay, dominance is not an independent one. Okay, dominance is not an independent one. That dominance depends on the phenotype. Okay, depends on the product of the gene, right. So dominance not only depends on the gene, that also depends on the gene product and phenotype, produced. Okay, it depends on the gene product also. So what are the phenotypes produced also determine the dominance character of that particular gene. Okay, this is why we need to discuss the starch synthesis in pea plant. So next is the polygenic inheritance. Polygenic inheritance. Polygenic, as it as the term indicates, poly, many, genic, genes, inheritance. Okay, when a character is controlled by many genes, okay, many genes, usually according to the Mendel, when there is, okay, when there is a character, or you can say when there is a trait, it is controlled by it is controlled by single gene. Correct? According to the Mendel ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಒಂದು gene ಒಂದು character, right? But here one character controlled by many genes, one character it is controlled by many genes, then that condition is called as, or that type of inheritance is called as polygenic inheritance. Polygenic inheritance. So examples, the examples are very clear in case of human beings. Okay, the first example is human height. Human height. So pea plant alli hegittu, in case of pea plants, either the plants will be tall or dwarf. Correct? Is it? But in case of human height, right, we don't have the persons like one height person or dwarf person or short person. ಈ ಥರ ಟಾಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ಡಾರ್ಫ್ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟಾಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಡಾರ್ಫ್ ಎರಡೇ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇರೋದಲ್ಲ, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ರೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೈಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಹೈಟ್ ರೇಂಜ್ ಇದೆ. For example, some may be 6 feet, some may be 5.4, some are 5, some are 5.6, right? You can see the characters in different gradient or different possible ranges. This is because of the character when it is controlled by many genes. Okay, let us discuss that. Okay, the one of the example is human height. And second example is human skin color. This is taken as one of the standard example or very famous example, human skin color. Say human skin color is controlled by 3 genes, that is gene A, gene B and gene C. These are the 3 genes controlling the human skin color. Okay, and A, B and C are the dominant genes. Dominant genes. They are responsible for dark skin color. So dark skin color is dominant in case of human, whereas small a, small b, small c, these are the recessive genes. Small a, small b, small c, these are the recessive genes responsible for light skin color. Okay, dark skin color dominant genes and light skin color controlled by these recessive genes. So when all dominant genes are present, okay, A, B, C, along with their alleles I have written, right? So when all dominant genes are present, then the person will have darkest skin color. Darkest skin color ಯಾವಾಗ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು, when all the genes are dominant. Okay, so darkest skin color, they are called as Negro. Okay, Negro. And when all recessive genes are present, all the genes are recessive in a person, then they have lightest skin color. Lightest skin color, and they are called as Caucasoid. They are called as Caucasoid. They are the lightest skin color persons, and they have all recessive genes. Okay, just consider this heterozygous condition for all genes. ಎಲ್ಲ ಜೀನ್ಸಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೆಟಿರೋಜೈಗಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಎ, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಎ, ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ರೆಸೆಸಿವ್, ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ರೆಸೆಸಿವ್. ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ದಿ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಕಲರ್. ಸೊ ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಟು ಲೈಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಾರ್ಕ್, ಆ ಥರ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹೆಟಿರೋಜೈಗಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಜೀನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ದೆನ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ mulattoes. Mulattoes, they have intermediate skin color. So now we know that, so idrinda namge ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ, we will come to the decision that when the number of dominant genes are more, then the persons will have more darker skin color. When the recessive genes are more, then that person will have light skin color. So ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಜೀನ್ ಇದೆ ಅದರ ಬೇಸಿಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಕಲರ್ ನಮಗೆ ವೇರಿ ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇನ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಗ್ರೇಡಿಯಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೀನ್. ಹೌದಾ, ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಅಥವಾ ಲೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಡಾರ್ಕೆಸ್ಟ್, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಇರುವವರು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಇರುವವರು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲೈಟ್ ಕಲರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಕಲರ್, ಆ ಥರ ನಮಗೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಗ್ರೇಡಿಯಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಫಿನೋಟೈಪ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. So this is because of that phenotype or that character is controlled by more genes, more than a gene. Then it is called polygenic inheritance. Okay, in case of human height and the human skin color, they are very clear. Next is pleiotropy. Okay, pleiotropy. You know that single gene responsible for single character. Correct? ಒಂದು ಜೀನ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ದಟ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ಸ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಬಟ್ ಪಾಲಿಜೆನಿಕ್ ಇನ್ಹೆರಿಟೆನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನಿ ಜೀನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್. Okay, this we discussed, and this type of inheritance is called as polygenic inheritance. But here the pleiotropy means single gene controlling many characters. Okay, controlling many characters. So when single gene is responsible for multiple phenotypic expression or many phenotypes or many characters, then that type of inheritance or the phenomenon is called as pleiotropy. So pleiotropy is a condition where the single gene is responsible for multiple phenotypic expressions or multiple phenotypes. Then it is called as pleiotropy. Okay, and one of the example for this pleiotropy is phenylketonuria. Okay, phenylketonuria. This is a disease or disorder in case of human. Okay, this is a disease in case of human, or we call it as disorder. And this phenylketonuria is due to the mutation in a gene. Okay, due to the mutation in a gene. So phenylketonuria ಯಾಕೆ ಡಿಸಾರ್ಡರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ಬರುವಂಥದ್ದು? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಮ್ಯುಟೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಜೀನ್. Okay, and that gene actually codes for, so in this case the mutation occurs in a gene that codes for an enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. So when a gene that codes for this enzyme undergoes a mutation, then the phenylketonuria disease or disorder is seen in an individual. Okay, so we will discuss this disorder at the end of this chapter. You will have in detail. So phenylketonuria is an example for pleiotropy. How? See, when there is a mutation in this gene that codes for this enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase, then that individual showing the disorder, they show multiple phenotypes like mental retardation. ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಿನೋಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಮ್ಯೂಟೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಜೀನ್. ಒಂದು ಜೀನಿಂದಾಗಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ. ಯಾವುದೆಲ್ಲ? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ರಿಟಾರ್ಡೇಷನ್, second one is reduction in hair, and third one is skin pigmentation. So all these multiple phenotypes or characters are seen when a single gene shows a mutation. Okay, one gene responsible for many characters or multiple phenotypic expressions, then it is called pleiotropy. So what is the reason for this pleiotropy? ಯಾಕೆ pleiotropy ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, the reason for the pleiotropy is when that condition or the gene interfere the metabolism. Okay, when metabolic pathways or metabolic processes are affected, then the effect will seen in this different expressions. So ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಿನೋಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಬರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, this affect the metabolic process of an individual resulting in multiple phenotypic expressions. Okay, this is pleiotropy.